All right, and we are live. So welcome back to Dapp University. So today we got a lot to talk about in our live stream. We're going to cover how one of the biggest crypto hacks that ever happened, where $540 million was lost basically instantly, okay? And actually talk about a post-mortem on everything that went wrong inside this hack, because there's a vulnerability inside of here that could affect you. So I'm going to talk about how to protect yourself. It's one of the most important things that you have to understand in crypto. Of course, there's no easy answer of just do this and you'll always be safe. So, this is a multifaceted thing. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know in this video. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to look at a lot of other updates that have happened in the space since our live stream yesterday. Again, we do these live streams Monday through Friday on this channel. Just subscribe, turn on notifications. You're going to find out about this whenever we go live. We're going to answer some of your questions in the live chat here. We might take a look on the crypto markets here towards the end of the stream and a whole lot more. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to master blockchain step-by-step start to finish, then definitely head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. And if you haven't watched this channel and you haven't heard my update yet, we are relaunching the Blockchain Bootcamp on Thursday, July 14th. That's next week, so you can hold your spot with the link down below. All right, so we got people jumping in the chat here. We've got Technically, Above Realty, David Stone, Ardal, Norris, Jaya, Automatic Beats, Golan, Tina, Bruno, Vilius, hope I'm saying that right, Tech Lane, Zen, Golan, Flustar, welcome. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this. Let's talk about basically the biggest crypto hack that's ever happened. So I'm pretty sure this is the largest one. There's actually, hold on a second, let's see here. I'll make sure I get my facts. It's definitely one of the biggest ones ever. We've seen a lot of different hacks happen this year that have been breaking records. I don't want to say the wrong thing here, but $540 million is a lot of money. So let's talk about how it happened. And actually talk about the specific vulnerability that occurred here, because this is something that could happen to you if you find yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time. And, statistically speaking, you probably don't have $540 million to lose, but, nobody wants to compromise their hard-earned money that they have sitting in a crypto wallet anywhere. So let's dive into this. So the Axie Infinity Ronin Bridge is one of the largest crypto hack that's ever happened. $540 million. Okay, so this happened back in March. We talked about it, but we actually have complete details on exactly how this went down. Okay, this happened with a fake job offer. Okay, that took down the world's most popular crypto game, Axie Infinity. So again, what is Axie Infinity? If you're not familiar with it, it's a play-to-earn blockchain-based game, okay, running on the Ronin sidechain. Okay, there's a Ronin bridge, essentially, that lets people get onto that sidechain so that people can actually move from one blockchain onto that environment and play the game. And that bridge was exploited earlier this year to the tune of $540 million. So I want to talk about how that happened, because it went down from this fake job interview, okay? And let's just jump in here. So rarely has a job application backfired more spectacularly than the case of one senior engineer at Axie Infinity, who's interesting. Basically, he was expressed interest in joining the Axie Infinity company. So Ronin, the Ethereum-linked sidechain, that's what I was talking about a minute ago, is basically the blockchain that runs the Axie Infinity game, okay, lost $540 million in a crypto exploit in March that we were talking about. So basically, we talked about when this came out that the U.S. government had tied this to a North Korean hacking group, okay, but now we have found that it was a fake job ad that was Ronin's undoing, okay? So basically, according to people with direct knowledge of the matter who were granted anonymity, yada, 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 the senior engineer, okay, at Axie Infinity was duped into applying for a job at a company that in reality did not exist, okay? So basically, somebody who worked for Axie was coaxed into a very, very high-paying job, into which they were able to get in contact with these people who were able to compromise, the ability to tap into this bridge next to the money. So Axie Infinity was huge at its peak. Workers in Southeast Asia. Okay, let's see here. My window just closed. workers in Southeast Asia were able to earn a living, okay, yeah, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So basically, here's how it went down. Sky Mavis, they were approached by people purporting to represent a fake company, okay, that encouraged to apply for jobs, according to people from the matter. Once the source added that, blah, 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 blah. So basically what happened was you had these engineers working at Axie, and then people would approach them on LinkedIn saying like, hey, we want you to work for us, but they weren't actually a real company, okay? And they would try to like sort of wine them and dine them and offer them jobs with extremely generous compensation. So they're probably like trying to say, hey, what are you making at your current company? You know, we'll give you like some crazy amount of money. You know what I mean? We'll give you all this, maybe like all these extra tokens and benefits, whatever it is, right? Try to get this insanely lucrative job offer. So the fake offer was, so then they actually give them a job offer, okay? It was delivered to them in the form of a PDF document, which the engineers downloaded. So like basically people were applying for the jobs, they download the offer, but the PDF actually has all this extra malicious spyware inside of the file that allowed them to infiltrate Ronin's systems, okay? So from there, hackers were able to do the attack and take over four of the 9 validators on the Ronin network, leaving them just one validator short of total control. Okay, so in a post-mortem, basically Sky Mavis said employees under contact with the advanced advanced spear phishing attacks on various social channels, and one employee was compromised. This employee no longer works at Sky Mavis. The attacker managed to leverage the access to penetrate the Sky Mavis IT infrastructure and gain the validator nodes. So the validators are basically the ones who are responsible for running the blockchain, okay? And then basically that's how they were able to get access to it, is they were able to access 4 of 9 validators from downloading this malicious file. So let's talk about this, okay? What is the important lesson to learn from here? So this is pretty crazy, all right? This is pretty crazy that this happened. So a couple things to think about. Number one is whenever you download a file on your computer, okay, you know, just because it has a certain file extension doesn't mean that there's not something else in that file that you don't expect. So first of all, let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about it kind of an obvious answer, obvious like crypto scam that's trying to steal your money. So I see this happen all the time, where like you get these really sketchy YouTube videos that's like, you know, how to like instantly do flash loans like for free, you know what I mean? Like, and make a trading bot with this simple like application that you can run on your computer. Now, I know I have videos on my channel about like flash loans and trading bots, all that stuff, right? But that's because you can actually legitimately code them. We show you how to do them inside of our master class series, right? What I'm talking about is like some like super sketchy like thing that doesn't even have a person's face on it. That's just like a screen demonstration and like, you know, maybe like some subtitles on it, or like some you know, voiceover narration from something that sounds like Siri just dictating text, right? So, and they're like demonstrating how to set this thing up, and then they have like a link below the video that's like download this program and run it on your computer, and the trading bot's gonna run, right? So that's a huge red flag, because the video, what's it doing? It's attracting people who likely have like MetaMask wallets on their computer, right? They likely have crypto wallets of some kind. They likely have, you know, maybe they wrote down a seed phrase on their, you know, computer somewhere, right? So that's attracting that type of user, and then they download a program that says, you know, like my super awesome trading bot.exe from Windows, or DMG if you're on Mac, whatever it is, right? And those programs don't go through the whitelisted app stores or anything. It's just a thing you just download and you say, yes, I give this permission to install my computer. And then you think you're installing just like a program, but it's got all this other stuff inside of it that then like scrapes your computer. Maybe it has a keystroke logger. Okay, we talked about that the other day in our streams, where basically like it's logging every single keystroke that you have, or maybe your clipboard, all right? And it's just constantly taking that information and feeding it up to some sort of like cloud, you know, database, and then they're just scraping that, like looking for combinations that might, you know, be a private key or a seed phrase or something. Like there's all this extra stuff that can be packaged into something that has a certain file extension and appears to be one thing, but is not. It's basically what a Trojan horse is, okay? That can come in many forms. So that's like one obvious thing. You never want to do that. But even then, like, you should be skeptical of pretty much every single file that you download on your computer. So in this case, this person was getting a job offer, right, from a fake company, and they told them to download a PDF. All right, even a PDF, something that is so commonplace. Okay, it had compromised code inside of it, basically, right? Or it had code that allowed them to compromise their system. Okay, so basically, you have to be skeptical of everything you download. And not everything that looks like a certain thing is exactly what it says it is. Now, the other thing is you have to basically treat every single download with skepticism, and also think about who you're interfacing with. Do you trust this person? Whenever you're meeting somebody new who has any reason to know that you use crypto products, you have to, have a healthy degree of skepticism and sort of self-protection. And what ulterior motive could this person have? And, what type of situation could I potentially be getting myself into if this person asked me to do something? So basically, if anybody asks you to do anything, like that causes you to put a new file in your system, just think twice before you do it. Now, one other good rule of thumb is, like, if you're doing crypto, like, you could also just always assume that you're on a compromised computer. Okay, so basically that's a pretty good rule of thumb. I think that's one reason people like hardware wallets a lot, is because it's a lot harder to steal funds out of a crypto wallet, because you have to have this hardware authentication, and it's really hard for somebody to create some sort of malicious code on your computer that also has access to that device as well. So that's where people get like hardware wallets. That's one reason, at least. Like, another reason is, like, if I got on a Zoom call with somebody, or some sort of screen share, and I was able to control their screen, I could easily just, like, click on their MetaMask wallet and then, like, paste in my address and, like, click send, and then I could just, sign the transaction, drain their funds. But if you have a hardware wallet, then, like, you can't do that, right? Like, you just, there's no way for you to virtually control their system. So, similar type of thing. So anyways, I mean, I go back and forth about hardware wallets. There's no real one size all fits solution for everybody. All right, when it comes to custody and crypto, I think hardware wallets give people a false sense of security, because they're not going to save you from everything, right? And sometimes hardware wallets make that even harder, because you don't always know what you're signing, because you have to verify depending on what your hardware wallet is. Sometimes you get this gobbledygook when you're trying to confirm a transaction. So anyways, so that's how the Ronin Bridge attack happened. It's pretty crazy. Through this fake job interview, downloaded a PDF on a computer, contained malicious code inside that PDF that allowed them to gain access to 4 of the 9 validators. So that's how it happened. That's what you can do to protect yourself, because similar type of thing can happen if you're not careful. So what do y'all think in the live chat here? Same with multi-sig? Yeah, it makes sense. Somebody says, I would never want to get caught fielding offers and using company resources to get a job somewhere else. Yeah. Multi-factor authentication, yep. Somebody says, one of our mods got his wallet taken control of through a keystroke hack. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Read a book about social engineering. Most hacks do that. Yeah, totally. Okay, so let's look at let's go ahead and look at a couple other things that have happened in the space. So one pretty cool announcement that just came out this morning that is definitely good for the crypto space is Reddit. Okay, so Reddit is launching its new NFT avatar marketplace. So this is a pretty big deal. Okay, so Reddit, this is not their first foray into anything crypto related. We saw Reddit Community Points launch, a couple of years ago. I think it was in 2020, where basically people were able to issue their own ERC20 tokens inside, specific Reddit subreddits for those particular communities. Basically, all the upvotes that you see in Reddit turning into, crypto related. Yeah, basically backed by the blockchain. So Reddit is now launching a new NFT avatar marketplace. Okay, so what are the details on this? So I clicked on the wrong link here. So my story went away. Let me just pull it up again. Hold on. All right, here it is. So Reddit is launching a new NFT avatar marketplace today. All right, that allows you to purchase blockchain-based profile pictures for a fixed rate. So essentially, if you want to have an avatar on Reddit, they're going to have all these NFTs that already exist on their platform that you can just purchase, and boom, that's now your Reddit avatar. And you can also take it out of Reddit, okay? So that's the big part. It's blockchain. You actually own it. All right, but you buy it from Reddit. That's actually a pretty novel concept. It's sort of like, I think that's a pretty cool idea where you're on a social network already, and then like, hey, do you want a cool profile picture on your social network? Well, just buy it here, and then now you own it, and you can take it and use it somewhere else. That's pretty cool. So, allows you to purchase blockchain-based NFTs, profile pictures for a fixed rate. You do not have to have a crypto wallet to buy them, so your credit card or debit card should be enough, and you can use Reddit's own wallet product to store them, okay? So they're releasing 90 different designs with total amount of NFTs going for sale in this early access phase being tens of thousands, okay? So the company noted that if you purchase one of its limited edition NFTs, you will have licensing rights. That's a pretty big deal. Okay, so you'll actually have a high degree of ownership over this actual avatar on and off Reddit. So these aren't quite as extensive as the ones from the Bored Ape Yacht Club where you can like use it in merchandise and TVs and all TV shows, all that type of stuff. You could do that with Bored Ape Yacht Club. But you can like mix and match your avatar with merch available in the avatar builder. So you can like, I think we saw this like with Meebits before, where you can like add new things to your NFT. You can give it a different body. You can give it a different hat, right? So give it a different, white, glow-like effect. Okay. So you'll kind of stand out if you have one of these avatars. It'll differentiate it from a regular one. All right, here's an example. Okay. So this is not Reddit's first rodeo of NFTs. Earlier this year, they had a testing feature that allowed you to set any Ethereum-based NFT as your profile picture. So just right when Twitter did the same thing. Okay. Reddit released limited NFTs based on its mascot Snoo called Crypto Snooze. So they are doing this on top of Polygon. All right. So actually, that's where they're actually going to mint them and store them. So Reddit has its own blockchain wallet called Vault. I've never actually used this before, but apparently that's what's available on that's their first native app, and you can use Vault to store and manage your NFTs. That's how it works with the community points. Okay, that's what I was talking about before. So today they're rolling it out early access to all members of the R Collectible Avatars invite-only subreddit. Okay, so the listing price ranges from $9.99 all the way to $99.99. So in the coming weeks, if you're not a part of the community, it's going to be available to everybody on its avatar builder page. Awesome. So yeah, it's a pretty big deal. Everybody thinks that we're not shipping anything, new and exciting with, blockchain with NFTs right now. Well, we see Reddit moving forward with this. So that's a pretty big step in the right direction. Everybody thinks NFTs are dead. NFTs are not dead. It's pretty good counterexample. David says his wife's job makes them deregulate, trying to avoid that kind of thing. Yeah, totally. Having good operational security is definitely critical, especially if you're in the crypto space. All right, so let's actually go ahead and check on the crypto markets here. We kind of been out of the, haven't been paying much attention to the crypto markets in our streams here this past week, but there are some things that I want to kind of make note of right now. So the first off is, we are starting to see some consolidation, around this $20,000 range for Bitcoin. Okay. Which is a big deal because we've just been dropping with basically no relief for a very long time. And so, at this point, it's at least encouraging in the short term to see some type of consolidation rather than just down only mode. Okay, so of course, like I've been saying since the beginning of the year, like all of the downward price action that we've seen with crypto, it's not just a crypto specific problem. We have a problem with the broader economy. Okay, I don't pretend to be a macro expert, but it's like a genius to see that inflation's a problem. Okay, that we've seen the loose monetary policy, right? The Fed pivot from its previous pivot from basically more of expansionary monetary policy to tightening, all right, raising interest rates, all that type of stuff. Doesn't take a genius to see that's having a big effect on everybody. So stock market is taking a big hit. Crypto is taking a big hit. So, I don't think we're going to see like crypto turn around and rip off to all-time highs or anything like that until we get clarification on what's going to happen in terms of economic recovery. But in the short term, we are seeing some relief and consolidation in the crypto price. All right. So, especially with Bitcoin. All right. Bitcoin looks like it's about to push back above. Let's hope that we can push back above $21,000 here. Looks like it's trying to. We're getting really close. Trying to. Okay. So one reason this is important, I'm not trying to call any tops or bottoms in crypto. I think that's kind of a crazy person's task, right? But I have been saying for quite some time that we have seen a lot of bottom signals, right? We've seen funds absolutely blow up. We've seen people like totally leave hope and leave the crypto space, seeing interest like way down, Google Trends way down, YouTube impressions, social media impressions way down, right? And engagement. So we've seen the type of price corrections that we've seen. In terms of percentage drop from all-time highs, sort of check that box. We're seeing, all types. There's so many bottom signals out there right now. It's hard to call the exact bottom, but is it possible that, the $19,000 level, 19,000, these dips down into 18,000, 17,000 was the bottom for Bitcoin? It is possible, right? It is very possible. I'm not saying that's what happened. But now sort of like the exciting part is to see if we can start to actually recover. You talk about lots of kind of different theories on how this could happen. Like I said, I think the most likely scenario is that we start to see some sort of, broader recovery in all markets that kind of where crypto is highly correlated with. Sort of like an alternate theory that most people aren't talking about is basically crypto having its sort of like own recovery moment, while that's happening, essentially, we see some sort of like change in policy from the Fed, and like crypto's already started its recovery, and then it just kind of gets gas and start to ignite from there. I think that's the biggest situation that nobody's talking about. All right. And, when everybody thinks it's going to go lower, they're just sitting on the sidelines. They end up chasing, and that's what causes the momentum for price to swiftly increase from there. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that's what's going to happen. The future is incredibly hard to predict. I do not pretend to know what's going to happen, but many times the actual outcome is what nobody's saying, and nobody's saying that right now. So just like nobody was saying that we'd see a double top in Bitcoin, around $65,000, $69,000, $70,000 in 2021. Everybody was saying that Bitcoin is going to $100,000 plus in that year, right? And that it was going to be this nice, easy to call parabolic blow off top, which we of course didn't get that either time, right? It's sort of this rounded, slowly dying, pattern, right? So twice of about the exact same height. So, anyways, that's a potential scenario that we could see. Now, again, the broader economy is the big question mark here, and that thing is so much more complicated than the crypto space that it's kind of a crazy person's task to try to call exactly what's going to happen there. I mean, you've got dozens of macroeconomics, experts fighting with one another, saying no, this is going to happen, no, that's going to happen, and like they're almost all going to be wrong. And then what's going to happen is one person's going to get right, and then they're going to get super famous for being right, and then they'll sit there and like get book deals and just like keep making a career out of being right once. It happens all the time. So in crypto, bankruptcies also going on. Yeah, we definitely have seen a lot of bankruptcies happen recently. So it says we're in a rough ride till the Fed hikes stop. Worst case, the Fed breaks something and we see a major dump in risk assets. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, even if we don't get some like massive, I don't think anybody's expecting that we're ripping back to all-time highs, but I think having some sort of relief is good, just morale for the crypto space rather than just like down only for 6, 7, 8 months is rough. Do I think sharding blockchain our future and will onboard billions of people into blockchain? That's a good question. So, I mean, sharding, sharding, people confuse how I say that a lot. It is definitely part of the future of blockchain scalability. So, of course, that's on the Ethereum roadmap. So, what is sharding? It's basically taking the responsibility of the blockchain and making a blockchain of blockchains. So, right now, scalability, one of the big bottlenecks is like on a blockchain, like Ethereum, for example, you have all these different computers, which are validators, which are nodes, right? They're just computers. That's what the blockchain is. It's a worldwide computer made up of other computers collectively. All right. And then for the most part, like they all kind of have to do the same job, right? I know there's different types of nodes, right? There might be, mining nodes versus not, and like clients, right? I get that. But basically speaking, like for the ones that are responsible for executing programs, the ones that are actually mining new transactions, like on Ethereum right now, while it's still proof of work, they're all basically doing the same thing. Okay. So, that's a scalability bottleneck. So if everybody has to do the same thing, that means there's more computers to make the round trip to do the certain type of computation. Okay. So I'm going to oversimplify this, but basically what sharding does is it takes that entire blockchain and breaks it into shards. So what is a shard? You might have heard of a sharded database if you're already a software developer. But basically that's just taking it and breaking it into smaller compartments. So like instead of, you could take this entire blockchain and break it into 4 shards, which would be like 4 smaller blockchains. And it'd be, in reality, be a lot more than that. But just for a simple example, you could say 4 shards, and then each shard might have its, own, like all these nodes, maybe a quarter of the nodes of the network are responsible for this, 25% of the execution, which means that you have to devote less resources. You can just route things to shards. Okay. So again, that's kind of an oversimplification, but that's basically what sharding is. Okay, is basically breaking up, not making everybody do everything, but delegating, allocating, I should say, a certain amount of resources to a certain footprint of the actual state and execution responsibilities itself. And then those things are able to talk to one another to still achieve consensus because there's a sort of the master, sort of chain that is orchestrating all that. But then you still have all these shards underneath that are, helping perform that responsibility. So that's on the Ethereum 2.0 roadmap. Okay. We're still quite a ways away from that, but you don't need that in order to achieve scalability, because you can get that scalability now with layer 2 scaling solutions. But whenever sharding happens, let's say you had like a 2x benefit for sharding. In reality, we don't know exactly what that's going to be yet, but you could take all the transactions per second that you're getting on layer 2s and then just multiplying it by 2. So let's say your layer 2 gave you 50,000 transactions per second. Well, if you turn on sharding, that gives you 2x the amount of transactions per second. You instantly increase that to 100,000 transactions per second, right? Or whatever the math is. I'm just kind of throwing out some numbers here. It's not the exact numbers necessarily, but that's the whole idea. So that's that's a huge thing, all right, that will help mass adoption of blockchain technology. Now, that being said, the real thing that's gonna make blockchain get mass adopted is, use cases for mass adoption, right? And usability. Okay, so it's really the use cases trump the usability, because this happens all the time. Like with DeFi, crypto, you tell people they can make a lot of money, they're going to jump through whatever hoops they have to make a lot of money. It happens, right? That's one of the major use case for crypto is financial speculation, major early use case, right? And so when people can make money, they're gonna download the wallet, they're gonna self custody, they're gonna take the risks. Okay. And if that was accessible to enough people, they would just do that, and you don't have to have perfect user experience in order to get that benefit. But as you have other benefits that are less like less like that over time, the UX definitely matters. So, all right, great questions, everybody. That's all I got for today. As always, smash the like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That really helps these videos out, so the more people learn about blockchain. And if you're as fast with this technology as I am, you want to get your hands dirty, how can you get started today? You go to my YouTube homepage. You find those free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. And if you like those and you want to take the next step, then hey, I can show you become a blockchain master step by step, start to finish, over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. And we are opening the Blockchain Bootcamp 2.0 next week. All right. So make sure you hold your spot with the link down below. All right. So that's all I've got. Until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.